should get you fired up for a Saturday in the state of hockey. The latest NHL Network showcase presented by SAP. We're spending the afternoon at XL Energy Center in St. Paul as the Minnesota Wild play host to the Chicago Blackhawks. And now we say hello from our NHL Network studios in Secaucus, New Jersey. With my guy Kevin Weeks, I'm Stephen Nelson. Weeks, he might break a big story during this telecast. He's working the lines, he's working the phones as the trade deadline approaches. Speaking of states, Weeks, you were trying to figure out the state of these two teams. For Minnesota, playoff position, and for Chicago, the rebuild. And let's begin with the Wild, because on this side of the All-Star break, they look like a different team in a bad way. So how do you view Minnesota moving forward?
Well, there really been a tale of two teams, and Bill Guerin's going to have to answer that call. Why? They got off to a great start, and as you mentioned, we are embarking upon the trade deadline that happens this Monday, 3 p.m. Eastern. What they were was great. Second in the Western Conference to start the season, and what they currently are now, they've lost 10 of the last 15.
I love this.
So at this point, they're trying to reprogram the GPS and their destination and trying to geolocate their game and also where they're going. But one person that'll take them there is the great Kirill Kaprizov. He's absolutely must-watch TV. He's thrilling every time he gets on the ice. I first watched him at the World Junior in 2015, and fortunately for the Wild, and to their credit, they finally bring him here. Bill Guerin gets him done on this contract, which by the time this deal's done, it'll look like a bargain for this team because he's that electrifying in the state of hockey. He ranks 6th in the league in terms of points scored right now, and here he is, Nelly, by way of what he's done in their franchise. He will be the best player in the history of this franchise, and he's certainly en route to doing that. Now, with respect to Marian Gaborik, who is electrifying in his own right, but he's going to establish all these franchise best marks right now. So, unreal year.
He's the guy you build around in Minnesota for sure. For Chicago, that's the question, Kyle Dave. Who are we building around? It was thought that Brandon Hagel was one of those pieces, 23 years old, coming into his own, playing for number 19, Jonathan Toews. He's been shipped out to Tampa Bay. They still have the cat for now, Alex DeBrincat.
Exactly, and let's see if there are more than 9 lives for the cat. He's been great for them. You heard Tony and Johnny talking about it in the studio. He is a one-shot player. He's not a volume shooter. All it takes is one. And he can shoot it in different ways and beat goalies from different distances. And he shoots it a lot harder than you'd expect for a guy of his size. But here's where he ranks among all-time players in Hawks history in their first 350 career games. I mean, these are legendary names on this board, and it just goes to further underscore how productive he's been and how effective he's been as a goal scorer at the NHL level.
24 years old, on pace for 46 goals, and there's this tweet from the fourth period, David Pagnotta. Some teams have indeed poked around on Alex DeBrincat in the
as they should.
Brandon Hagel trade. It may be a long shot. Chicago is not shopping him, but they are willing to listen. I'm told they will not consider any pitch that doesn't totally wow them, as you would expect and hope for a player of his caliber.